Hello, everybody. This is a fan request that was asked of me either yesterday or the other day about how far I think Panama and Iceland can go in the World Cup next summer. So far, they are our only two countries who will be making their debut for the first time in the World Cup. How far I think they can go and how far I think they will go are not necessarily the same thing, particularly in Iceland's case. Um, for Panama, look, I think realistically speaking, I don't want to say anything because Costa Rica went all the way to the quarterfinals last time around, and they might take a page out of their neighbor's book. They might be really well set up, well coached, and moreover inspired, and they might go on a run. Costa Rica almost got to the semifinals. They came a penalty shootout away from reaching the semis. And Costa Rica came out of a hell hole of a group with three former world champions in Uruguay, Italy, and England. So, I would say for Panama, it largely depends on the group they get, but Costa Rica pretty much threw that standard out the window. But I do think it's going to have a huge impact based on the group that Panama gets. I don't think Panama is Costa Rica. I don't think they're good enough as Costa Rica are or they were. So, best case scenario, I could see Panama getting to the round of 16, depending if they just show up and they get motivated of being in their first World Cup ever. A lot of that just depends. I would not rule out a quarterfinal run if the draw is favorable to them, but it depends on so many other factors as well. And, we'll have to see how that goes. But where I think Panama will finish, I think they're going to go out in the group stage. I think that they'll just be happy that they're at the World Cup. They'll make a good account of themselves. They'll do their country proud. They'll have a good time. But I think they're going out in the first round, the group stage. Iceland is a completely different story. I said before, Iceland is an emerging world football power. They are already a second-tier side in Europe. They were one of 9 countries to finish top of their group in Europe. They didn't qualify through the playoffs. They qualified through winning their group, a very difficult group containing Croatia, Ukraine, and Turkey. And even Finland and Kosovo weren't easy either. So they finished top of, in my opinion, one of, if not the hardest group in European World Cup qualifying. So Iceland, I could see them doing the same thing they did in Euro 2016. I could see them getting to the quarterfinals. If they really, really hit their stride, I wouldn't rule out semis. Because I think this Iceland team is better than Costa Rica in 2014. I see them as being an outside threat to go very far in this tournament. I could see them getting to at least the quarterfinals like they did in Euro 2016. And if they get a reasonable draw, and if their opponents in the round of 16 and quarterfinals are not too unmanageable, meaning if they don't meet Germany, Brazil, Spain, Portugal, let's say they meet, or France, let's say they meet England again, or they meet a French team that I think is very suspect. I could see them getting to the semis. The very best case scenario, and I believe this from the bottom of my heart, I look at this team, best case scenario, if all the chips on the table fall in front of them, exactly if the stars align, I could see them getting to the semis. People say Iceland can't get to the semis. Guys, look at recent World Cup history. We've had Turkey get to a semifinal. We've had South Korea get to a semifinal. We've had Croatia go to a semifinal. We've had Bulgaria go to a semifinal. Why can't you have a surprise team in a World Cup semifinal? It's been pretty much par for the course in recent contemporary World Cup history. So the best case scenario for Iceland, I'm gonna say semifinals. Best case scenario. Where I think Iceland will finish, I believe Iceland will finish in the round of 16 because I think that they'll probably finish second in their group behind one of the seeded teams and then probably lose to another seeded team that's better than them in the round of 16. But I do think, my prediction, I do think Iceland will come out of their group. I do think they'll get to the round of 16, and I think that's where they will bow out. But they could get to the quarters again. They could get to the semis. So leave a comment below, like, subscribe. I'll see you guys in my next video. Till then, God willing, have a good day. Much love and peace out.